Boom, what up ladies and gentlemen, it's your man 50 Grand, it's Scott Stockton, and today I'm going to pull up the curtain and show you guys how I shoot couples at Disney World. Let's go. Oh, hi everybody, it's me, Mickey. Now for this video, I'm going to split things up into three parts. We're going to talk about proposals first, then engagements, and then I'm going to give you guys some rapid fire tips at the end. Now, the first thing you need to do is you need to have a conversation with the person that contacted you for the proposal and talk about a location. Most times, the location is somewhere where the castle is in the background, but you need to talk to them about crowds. Disney World is one of the most crowded places in the world, and depending on when you go, what season it might be for Disney World, there could be people literally everywhere. So if they're dead set on a specific location, like, no, I don't care, it has to be in the front of the castle, I need the front of the castle with the castle behind them, then as long as you prep them and let them know that, hey, we can do that, we can shoot anywhere, but just know that there's going to be people in the background. What you can do is find alternative places and be like, listen, because it is crowded, maybe over here to the side of the castle, over here on this side of the castle, there's a nice bridge, we could get a clean shot, I think. There's the wishing well. I think we can get clean shot over there and it can be private. Give them options. And if they don't want to do it in one of the private places, that's okay too. You can go back out on Main Street and he can get down on one knee with the castle right behind him. And if there's people in it, at least you let them know that that would happen. Now, another thing you need to consider when you're shooting a proposal at Disney World is the time of day. You're in Florida, okay? You're going to have harsh light. It's going to be really sunny all day. So you need to kind of coach them in the best times to shoot it. For instance, I had a guy who said he wanted to do a proposal in the morning. I tried to suggest a better time, but what I didn't know is that he had flown in his soon-to-be fiance's family, and she obviously had no clue about it. And right after the proposal, all the family came, they were there, and they wanted to celebrate with them for the rest of the day. So in a case like that, we had to do it in the morning. If they have their mind, this is similar to location, if they have their mind dead set on a specific time because they have other activities planned for the rest of the day, then you got to roll with it. If not, you can suggest a time when it's going to be less harsh with light. If I have a guy that's reached out to me and he is wanting to propose to his lovely lady at Disney World, I always coach them, hey, don't try to push any kind of nice outfits on her. Don't tell her to wear a nice pretty dress or anything like that, because it's going to give away what you're trying to do. Because remember, you are in Florida, you are in harsh sun, it's humid, there's going to be severe cases of swamp ass. The second you tell her to wear something glamorous, she's going to be like, what the hell? Like, oh, he must be about to propose to me. Something's up. Because when you're in Florida at Disney World and you're really just going to enjoy the parks, you're going to be wearing shorts, t-shirts, and things like that. So the second he starts suggesting her wear something more glamorous, she's going to key in on what he's going to do. So I always tell them, don't push outfit changes. Don't tell her she needs to wear this or that. Let her dress up how she wants to. It's a Disney World Florida proposal. And then afterwards, if we want to let y'all go get dressed into something nicer and shoot some more, we can do it. Now, my plan for when people book me for proposals at Disney World is I will let the guy know ahead of time. I'll say, listen, why don't we do the proposal at the set time that you want? Let's say it's in the morning. We shoot the proposal, maybe a few more shots around the park just really quick. Most of the time it's always during a not so great time of day. I then let you go on your way and enjoy the park for a little bit. And she's going to be calling family members and being excited about the proposal and everything like that. Meanwhile, I disappear. I edit some sneak peeks of the proposal. I send them to you guys. And then we meet up later, a little bit before like golden hour. And then we can do a nice kind of faux engagement shoot or a portrait session, and that gives you guys time to go back home, get changed into better clothing, and then we can come back and rock with a portrait shoot later. On the days that I'm going to do a proposal shoot at Disney World, I always get there an hour before the time of the proposal. I scout out. Oftentimes there's lots of changes at Disney World. They could be doing some construction to certain parts that you had planned you were going to do it, and it throws a monkey wrench in the plans and things like that. I always get there earlier. I scope out the weather, how crowded it is, the location that we wanted. I also go walk around and scope out different locations that would be amazing as well that might be less crowded. And during that morning, I'll shoot them to the guy and say, hey, I found these spots over here that are less crowded. Do you want to try that, or do you want to stick to plan A? And we work out a plan. Now let's talk about engagements. For engagements, the same thing for proposals. The first thing you want to do is figure out the locations that you're shooting. You want to figure out where you're starting, where you're going, where you're ending, all that stuff, and you can map out a nice little flow, a bit of a game plan for when you start shooting to when you end it. Another key factor with the engagements, as it was with proposals, was times and timing. You have to keep into account that when you're going to shoot at Disney World, you got to think about transit. You might be starting in one location. It could be in the same park. You could be starting at Dumbo, getting some shots there, and then the next shots you want to do on Main Street. And then after that, you want to go over to Adventure Island or whatever. Like, there's distance in all of that. That's a long walk from Dumbo to Main Street. And it's even longer because there's big crowds of people. You have to take in account the amount of time that you're going to be traveling around from spot to spot while you're trying to shoot in the park. This could be a destination thing for them. They could live out of state and they've flown you down to do this, and you can't miss the good times because you didn't take into account the travel and transit that you have. And that's just within one park. Let's say you wanted to start in the Magic Kingdom and then they wanted to end at Epcot and do all that. You got to take into account more than just walking. You got to take into account like the monorail ride, how long that's going to take. If you can't get the monorail, is it a bus? Is it the boats? You got to figure out all these things. So what I typically tell people is everybody knows that golden hour is the best time to shoot. But golden hour isn't an hour. And depending on the time of year, it could be 30, 40 minutes. And if there's a lot of different spaces that they want to hit, you're going to have to start your shoot that much earlier, and you're just going to have to deal with some harsh light and make it happen. So I typically will start my portrait shoots or engagement shoots about an hour and a half before golden hour. We shoot through all that. We shoot through golden hour. We shoot through blue hour, and then we do the fireworks after. So consider the transit and travel time when you're trying to pick your times for doing your portrait and engagement shoots. Now you're going to want to do some prep work. Prep work is key with an engagement session or a portrait session at Disney World, whether it's Magic Kingdom or any of the parks. You're going to want to get there early. I always get there about an hour early, and I walk around and scout out locations. So while they may want some of the iconic architecture and things like that in these Disney World shots, I think it's also important to walk around and find places that have some cute character to it, that are in the shade. Might not even be places that scream Disney. It could just be nice, well-lit spots so that you can get some portraits. So let's say the sun is really harsh and you're walking around and you need a place to kind of break up some time, but to get some pretty portraits. If you've gotten there early and you could scout out some spots, you won't have to panic. You'll know exactly where you can go with some great light and get some portraits. Another thing, have patience. This is a big one. You're going to be dealing with big crowds, annoying people. It's going to be hot. Everybody's going to be sweating, humid, angry. Have patience. I always coach people, like when I get them to a location that we want to get a shot in, if there's tons of people, I give them what we're going to do for the shot, whether we're posing, whether it's an action. I tell them ahead of time, I was like, here's what we're about to do. I got you in the place that you need to be. I'm going to step back. The second that this crowd clears, I'm going to give you a thumbs up. We're going to do whatever we needed to do. We're going to get all the shots, and then we're going to rock on to the next one. But coach your people ahead of time. Have a bit of patience. Realize that we're in like one of the biggest tourist places in the world. It's hot. It's humid. We need to have a little bit of patience to make sure that we get the shots we want. Another thing, because it is so bright and sunny there, look for silhouettes. If it's really bright and harsh and there's no clouds, and maybe you're struggling to, I've reached that point in the shoot where like I'm running out of ideas. What could I do? What could I do? There's so much cool architecture around all the parks that you can easily place your couple in like doorways, under the castle. Find places where you can create beautiful silhouettes, crank up your shutter speed all the way. And yeah, there's some of my favorite photos from Disney World shoots have been silhouettes. So look for silhouettes. Now let's talk about some rapid fire tips, some quick tips and suggestions that I would give you if you are going down to Disney to do any kind of shoot. Number one, don't bring flash. Don't bring a shit ton of equipment that is going to draw attention to yourself and potentially risk you and your couple getting kicked out. While Disney is friendly to people coming to get content and maybe shoot here and there, they also don't like people taking up humongous pieces of space, obstructing traffic flow for the parks and anything like that. So if you're doing something too big and you're drawing attention to yourself, be careful because you can get kicked out, you can get tailed. I've had people tail me around the parks before, and you just don't want to draw that attention to yourself. So for things like flash and anything like that, leave that at home. Another thing to do when you're shooting a couple there is to pretend like you're family. We're pretending we're family today.
We are.
You don't want to be drawing attention to yourself. You don't want to be looking like you're in these parks trying to take advantage of these portraits or anything like that. Pretend like you guys are family. I've even had cases where like I'll hand them the camera, I'll hand the guy a camera, he'll take a photo of me and her. She'll take the camera, take a photo of me and him. Sometimes hand them my camera and let them just take photos of me. I like to confuse people, make it look like I'm not there doing a portrait shoot and we're just a group of people, we're friends and family just down in Disney taking photos of each other. Because let's be honest, families are there all over the place with their cameras taking photos, so try to blend in with that type of activity. Another thing, just don't think about just the parks when you're planning your shoot. Like there's other places you can shoot outside of the Magic Kingdom and Epcot and all these places. You can shoot at the resorts. You can shoot at Disney Springs. You can shoot at the boardwalk. Some of the best photos I've ever gotten were at different resorts, like the Grand Floridian. I had a couple that stayed there, and we went there and got a bunch of photos. I've shot on the boardwalk multiple times. There's so many cool spots down there, including, let's say they didn't have a ticket to Epcot. The boardwalk connects to Epcot, and you can get some shots with Epcot in the background. So don't just think about the parks when you're planning your Disney shoots down there. And the last thing I'm going to leave you with is shooting at Disney is a lot of work. Like you need to be, I know a lot of photographers are like, oh, I would love to go to Disney. I want to get a Disney shoot, the castle, this, that, and that. It seems like you're going to be able to take some really cool, iconic kind of images and these grand photos that you're going to decorate your website with and your social media squares, and it's going to be great. And it will be great, but it is a lot of damn work. It's hot, it's humid, you're walking all day long. You're trying not to be a big eyesore to draw attention to you from people that work there, other people, trying not to take up too much space. There's a lot of logistics, especially if it's a proposal. There's stress with that. Then there's the engagement shoot or portrait shoot after, where you're going from this location to that location. You got to remember to drink because it is hot and humid. You can get dehydrated. I almost passed out there once. I was so dehydrated. It's a lot of work. So while it seems grand to book these things, you need to be prepared to be busting your ass while you're there. In fact, like I've done so many there and the work is so great that I've decided to stop doing the shoots down there altogether. The only way I will now go book an engagement shoot or a shoot down there is if somebody also books me for their wedding as well. That's the only way I'm doing it going forward. I say all that to say, just be prepared to do a lot of work. It sounds fun, sounds grand, and it is fun, but it is a damn lot of work. Does that make sense? Damn lot of work. Can you say that? So all that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you guys as always. Please please subscribe. Leave me some comments down below. Let me know if these tips were helpful for you. Let me know if I missed a trick with some of them. If you've shot there, if you have tips, let me know what you like to do. What's your favorite locations? If you want me to shoot yours down there, which also comes with me shooting your wedding, then definitely comment down below. Holler at your boy. Until next time, peace.